no disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are going to have one of the longest buildups in recent boxing history, and the two world champions are set for the challenge. It's a legacy-defining fight that's surely going to be the fight of the year. Terence Crawford is climbing a high mountain with this one, moving from the welterweight division to the super middleweight division in just 2 fights is an unimaginable feat.
What do you say about that?
I tell you like this, the man must have seen something when he called Canelo out, because you got to remember, bro called Canelo out. So he must see something in order for him to get that win, and he know he can win.
But if there's one fighter who can make such a mind-blowing leap, it has to be Terence Crawford. One special gift the Omaha boxer also has is his ability to shut his ears against naysayers. He did it before the Errol Spence fight and ended up sending the truth on exile from boxing for almost 2 years now. This time, Crawford is also shutting his ears against naysayers who have criticized him for moving up 2 weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez. And should he get everything right, he'll be the only male boxer to be undisputed in 3 weight classes, a feat that'll forever leave his name imprinted in the history books of boxing.
So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you never know.
To achieve this feat, Terence Crawford understands he has to violently prepare for the biggest night of his boxing career. And while he prepares, Canelo Alvarez is also preparing for a showdown against William Skull in May. It's not common anymore to see fighters with the resume of Crawford and Canelo Alvarez face each other between them. There are over 100 boxing fights, tens of world championship titles and victories between them. In a match as technical and intense as this, many feel the weight difference will be the deciding factor, an idea which may totally be untrue on the night.
First off, how excited are you about it, and break the fight down for us?
Well, I ain't gonna break the fight down for you because I don't want to get a game plan away. But I'm excited for Terence more than anything to get the fight that he wants, to show the world that he's great. He's great, one of the greats.
Well, many feel Crawford should take a tune-up fight at a 160-pound catchweight to prepare him for the fight. It's not a sure thing, though, given how important the fight against Crawford is. Alvarez could choose to take more time off and keep his body fresh, but he doesn't like to take too much rest time if his past history is anything to go by. As for who he would fight, William Skull appears to be the main option. The IBF super middleweight champion has been in talks with Canelo's team since the beginning of the year.
It's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big.
Canelo, though, is now 34 years old. While he has shown no signs of slowing down, he is arguably nearing the end of his career. In a recent chat with Ring Magazine, Canelo revealed when he might consider hanging up the gloves. He said, "I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting closer to retirement, obviously, but I'm feeling great. I feel better than ever. But maybe at 38? Yeah, I think 38 would be the perfect time to start thinking about that." He further added, "I have had difficult fights, and ones I didn't need in those moments. I take risks my whole career. I really love the challenges and what I do, and I try to show everybody how good I am. I love to go up and down in weight. I never look at my record and say, I did this. My trainer always talks about it, and he always shows me the things I've done, all the world champions, and it's very impressive."
Has named you and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
We'll see. We'll see. Everything is possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it. Sit down.
Canelo Alvarez last beat Edgar Berlanga back in September 2024. Reports suggest his rumored bout against Terence Crawford is close to becoming a reality in 2025. For now, the future of this potential fight remains quite certain. Both fighters have existing commitments, and the possibility of an agreement will hinge on several factors, including contract negotiations and strategic decisions from both teams. There aren't many fighters that have shared the ring with both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. The only man to do so inside a professional ring was Amir Khan, suffering stoppage defeats to the pair, and he's already given his thoughts on how a potential Crawford versus Canelo matchup would go.
What do I think of that fight?
Yeah.
I think that, everybody knows that Crawford got the skills. I do think that Canelo's a little big. He's a little big for Crawford, and it'll be a tall task for him to win.
There are a few more that have sparred the two men though, and one of them has now given his take on how he thinks the fantasy clash could unfold. That man is middleweight contender Kieron Davis, who even took on fellow Canelo rival David Benavidez back in November 2021. Having sparred both Bud and Canelo, Davis told Mill City Boxing that he thinks it would be extremely tough for Crawford and would back Alvarez to get the victory. Canelo is a big guy. It's going to be a lot. He can take a punch, so you're not going to hurt Canelo. I don't think Crawford can hurt him with one punch. Maybe he can cut an eye or something or bother him to the body.
It'll be a lot you have to. It'll be a lot to get that victory based on size alone. Not that size win fights, but you got a guy that got size and skill. It'll be hard. I mean,
he has to get some flesh on gloves and go to the body. It's going to be a tall task. Canelo can really fight. He has moves and traps. It's not easy. In boxing, nothing is impossible, but if I had to bet, I'd put money on Canelo. I'm not taking anything away from Crawford, but Canelo is great. Can Canelo stop him? He's a bigger guy. I think one punch can do it. Oscar De La Hoya, despite his complicated relationship with Canelo Alvarez, has shared his thoughts on a possible showdown between the Mexican superstar and Terence Crawford.
Oscar, Terence Crawford says he wants to fight Canelo. He's changed his tune. He said he's willing to move up 3 weight divisions. To me, that's kind of crazy, but that just shows you, like, man, the dog that's in Terence Crawford. If Canelo is victorious against Charlo, which
De La Hoya insists that his predictions regarding any potential fight involving Canelo are unbiased. Oscar De La Hoya has a bold opinion on the potential outcome of this hypothetical matchup. The former world champion believes that Canelo, with his greater size and power, would have a clear advantage over Crawford. At 154, Crawford didn't really look too dangerous up in the ring against a beast. So imagine Canelo being the bigger guy, being a beast. It's almost like a no contest. I mean, come on, when has a smaller good guy ever beaten a good bigger guy? It's never happened in the history of the sport. It's rare. De La Hoya told Fight Hub TV. Crawford, renowned for his technical ability and punching power, would face a significant physical challenge in taking on Canelo at his natural weight.
Canelo?
Terence Crawford will beat Canelo anytime. Anytime. Because, and this is the...
While some experts believe Terence Crawford possesses the skills to compete with Canelo, the disparity in size and power could prove decisive. Demetrius Andrade, a former super middleweight world champion, weighed in on this highly anticipated matchup.
Just too much overall. Like, is that kind of the same thing with the Crawford and Canelo because of the weight classes, the weight between them?
Yeah, I believe so.
I love Crawford. He's a good friend. We reach out to each other. We've been traveling the world through the amateur program. He saw me beat people up. I saw him beat people up. I think the stories could go on, but when it comes to weight empowerment, that stuff is real, Andrade said during an interview with Fight Hub TV. Andrade, who himself was once linked to a fight with Canelo, acknowledged Terence Crawford's immense talent and skill. However, he believes Canelo holds a significant advantage due to his size and experience at higher weight classes. Canelo is a big bad wolf, and he can run the whole night. I think Crawford has the skills, but when it comes to Saul getting shots and blocking his power shots, Canelo knows how to move too. He has agility, not like a robot. I mean, it's gonna be tough, Andrade explained.
I love Crawford. He's a good friend. We reach out to each other. We've traveled the world through the amateur program. He see me beat people up. I see him beat people up. He see me get beat up. I got beat up. We both.
In an interview with Mill City Boxing, Jones Jr. shared his perspective on this hypothetical clash. While praising Crawford's talent and skills, the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite.
Bout's time to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
I like Terence, but I'm going to lean towards Canelo with his size early. But if he lets Terence get into the fight, Terence is going to be a problem. If Terence can deal with the size, he will beat him. Jones Jr. emphasized the importance of Canelo's punching power as a decisive factor in the fight.
What is Bud looking to try to make history and get out? Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know until we see Terence get hit, because we haven't seen him get hit with that power, Jones Jr. said. That's the deciding factor. If you can change Bud's fight plan, You've got a chance of beating him, but if you can't hurt him, you can't change his fight plan, and you've got problems. This analysis underscores Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can impose his technical boxing skills and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could stand a chance of pulling off a historic upset. While the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next bout.
If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win.
International Boxing Federation interim champion William Skull has been mentioned as a possible opponent. This wasn't always the case for Roy Jones Jr., though. The Hall of Fame fighter and current promoter, trainer, and respected analyst Roy Jones Jr. had earlier shared scenarios in which he sees both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez beating Alvarez, before going against his former prediction. He began with David Benavidez saying, "It's a tough fight to call because Benavidez throws a lot of punches. Sometimes power can intervene and make that a different situation," Jones said in an interview with BoxingScene.com.
A little big for Crawford. I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see.
The problem is Canelo willing to take the risk? I don't really think he will right now because I don't think he feels like he has a reason to. If he can't hurt Benavidez early in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I don't see him winning that fight. The two-time 168-pound titleist Benavidez has been pounding the table for a crack at Alvarez over the last 2 years. Formerly recognized as the best welterweight in the world, Crawford is open to moving up 2 weight classes for the chance at clashing with the Mexican star. Alvarez, meanwhile, maintains that a win against Crawford would do little for his legacy, even though many are giving Crawford a real chance to score the win.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes. But
if anybody can do it and pull it off, it's Crawford. So you can't tell him no, said Jones. I was the kind of guy that if someone said they were better than me, and if I can get close to your weight, here I come. I gave John Ruiz 33 pounds when I won the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care. I wanted to prove that I was pound for pound the best and to do something historic that had never been done. That's probably how Bud feels right now. He wants to do something historic to solidify his legacy in boxing. Who doesn't want to see the pound for pound best from yesterday fight the pound for pound best from today? Who wouldn't want to see that fight? It's a mega fight. If he puts the muscle and weight on, how can you doubt him? One thing that's for sure is that he's going to go out there and fight and not just collect a paycheck. He's going to go out there and try to win the fight because that's who Bud is. If he carries the weight, it'll be a good fight. He can box just like Floyd Mayweather, and he can also fight. He hits and doesn't get hit. If he can take the punch at that weight, he'll probably win the fight.
But not right now. I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go, Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter fight.
Jones, who fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career as a 4-division title holder, said Alvarez should continue his career moving forward at super middleweight. It's definitely best that Alvarez stays at 168. I didn't understand why he went to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol anyway, said Jones. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was at the end of his career. Bivol was in the middle of his. They are 2 different animals. He got the crusher at the right time. Go back down and dominate where you're at. Don't try to fight another one because lightning ain't gonna strike twice. But former WBO and WBC light welterweight champion Tim Bradley doesn't believe either of the 2 can derail the Bud train. Instead, he feels Crawford himself is the only man who can end his reign of terror over the sport.
I don't think we've seen anything like Terence Crawford. In all my years of boxing, I know that for a fact. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything.
I think the only person that can beat Crawford is himself at this point, Bradley told Fight Hype recently. Madrimov is the champion, and he must be respected. But as far as skill for skill, Crawford all day. I think he'll do well against Canelo. I really do. Would I be nervous if they were to fight? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch, and all it will take is one big punch. But as long as he uses his legs, his athleticism, and his defense to get out of the way, then he should be able to beat Canelo. Interestingly, Bradley thinks Crawford can outbox Canelo just like Floyd Mayweather Jr. did 11 years ago when he defeated the Mexican star when he was 22 years old, fighting at a catchweight in 2013.
Good speed, power, timing. can switch the way he switches, to have the toughness, the meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys.
Crawford is about to turn 37, has never fought above 147, and would be coming up in weight without being tested at 168 by the top contenders. More fans would agree with Bradley if Crawford were interested in providing himself at 160 against the Killers and at 168 to show that he can hang. The fans perceive Crawford is in a hurry to get a huge payday against Canelo and a golden parachute so that he can live in luxury in his retirement years.
He's one of the smartest guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168.
This is the problem with the fact that he fought against Jermell Charlo. Charlo comes in at 154, said Tim Bradley to Fight Hype, reacting to Canelo Alvarez saying he's not interested in fighting welterweight Terence Crawford because there's nothing to gain from fighting him. Jermell moved up a couple of weight divisions to fight Canelo. He got in there and laid an egg. He just basically went in there and survived. He just felt like, I'm not on Canelo's level, but the difference is the mentality of Crawford. He's a top pound-for-pound guy, said Bradley. Well, we don't know if Crawford will be any different from Jermell Charlo because he's not volunteering to test himself against some of the top super middleweights to give fans a reference point.
Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way.
If Crawford chose to prove himself against David Benavidez or David Morrell, you could feel confident that he just showed up for the payday against Canelo without trying to win. Since Crawford has no intention of fighting anyone at 168 before fighting Canelo, you can only conclude this is about money and nothing else. Charlo was never a top pound-for-pound guy. The skill set of Crawford is what he brings, said Bradley. He's a competitor, man, and he's been after Canelo. He wants to fight Canelo, and I think he'll do well against Canelo. I really do.
A secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So
is it like a skill set? Is it like a preparation thing, or?
Nope, I'm not.
Now, am I nervous about the fight if they fight? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch. That dude can punch, and all it takes is one. He hits a guy like Terence one time, who's coming up 3 weight classes to be able to face him. However, just like we saw with Floyd Mayweather, he was able to outbox him in 2013 when Canelo was 22 years old and was able to outthink him. Bradley uses Mayweather as an example to justify his argument that Crawford can give up huge size against Canelo and beat him, but we really don't know if that holds water. Canelo fought welterweight Mayweather at 154.
Just gonna put it like this. If the fight was to happen, you will see. Yeah.
Because a lot of people think Terence can't compete.
It wasn't a situation where Mayweather moved up to 168 and fought a prime version of Canelo who was at full strength, but Bradley had more evidence in support of Crawford. I think Crawford has that ability to outbox him, outthink him, make him miss, make him pay, said Bradley. As long as he's not catching too many of them and using his legs and his athleticism and his defense to get out of the way, he should be able to beat Canelo.
Once he touches Canelo, because he's been hit by bigger guys, he's not gonna, I don't want to say show him respect, but he's gonna be able to go, okay, I could walk through this. I could take a little risk and set up my traps, cut the ring off, dig to the body, and wear Terence down over the rounds.
I'm just gonna tell you like this. Yeah.
Slow plodding forward, Canelo's got a good jab, good quickness, and throws a lot of hooks. Crawford just gets away from all of those and gets underneath them. He should be able to beat Canelo. We're basing it on what Charlo was able to do. Charlo didn't do anything. He was scared. He didn't want to get knocked out. I don't blame him. He didn't want to end up on a poster. I understand that. But you said you wanted to be great. You weren't great that night. Crawford is daring to be great, and I think he can do it, said Bradley. While Canelo hasn't paid much heed to the challenge, the fans surely did, who are divided on what would happen. But Sean Porter, who knows quite well what Crawford could do, says he is concerned.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds.
It's a tough fight to predict, no doubt. Just look at Crawford's dominant performance against an elite-level boxer like Errol Spence Jr. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.